as we record this, it's Tuesday the 14th of May. Since last Thursday morning, I have been screaming up until about half an hour ago. Find out why on episode 17 of the Kingsgrove Sports Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Episode 17 of the Kingsgrove Sports Podcast. Joining me today on my right, Stuart Hamish.
Morning, Charlie.
Morning, sir. How are you?
I'm all right.
Good. To my left, Hamish Solomons.
Hello.
Hello. We've swapped seats again.
Yes, which is fine by me because I don't like responsibility. I never did. Never did.
No. And I can attest to that.
Speaking of responsibility, over in the corner there, producer Nick. How are you, sir?
Good morning, everybody. I'm doing well. How are you guys?
We're very good. Well,
I'm currently living the dream at 7:50 a.m.
When aren't you living the dream?
It is a dream working in this place, I can assure you. Well, we got a few meaty topics today. I've stolen that from another podcast, but never mind. We've got a few topics to get through today. Where would you gents like to start?
Well, your opening line. Explain yourself, young fella.
Well, for those of you watching on the YouTube channel, you'll see my current attire. Champions League football. Wow. I'm sure that we'll get onto that at some stage. I'm a huge Tottenham fan.
Oh, and what about our guy on the far right? Huge Liverpool fan.
Huge Liverpool fan. We'll be meeting, but not meeting.
Yeah, well,
I'm not going to get up early and watch it with you.
No, I won't get up.
I'll be too nervous.
Watch it with you either, mate.
But yeah, no.
Why don't you just organise a hotel room, boys?
That's a different subject altogether. No. So Tottenham Hotspur versus Liverpool is the Champions League final. We will get on to the semi-finals and the end of the Premier League season shortly. But before we do that, our socials, as usual, Facebook at Kingsgrove Sports Centre, Instagram at Kingsgrove Sports, Twitter at Kingsgrove Sport. Not plural, they can't handle it. iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, KSCpodcast.com, obviously YouTube for those viewing. Producer Nick, you got a new one again.
Yeah, I got us onto iHeartRadio, which is another popular online radio service, app, website, etc. So if you listen to podcasts on iHeartRadio, we are also on iHeartRadio.
The list grows.
It grows.
Expanding exponentially.
Slowly taking over.
Taking over that world.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so we'd also invite the viewers and the listeners to write in with some, if you have any questions, any feedback, any topics that you'd like us to cover as well, and we'll cover some of that later on too. I think the best place to start, because we're in Australia, NRL, it's that time of year. Let's get it out of the way.
Should we talk some Magic, Hamish?
Yes, the Magic Round.
Magic Round.
Magic Round. It's the aftermath of the Magic Round. Was it magic for you guys?
It's magic for the NRL because I don't think there's no scandals to speak of that we know of.
No scandals.
All players behaved well.
Yeah, which is surprising because they were all in the same sort of place. Although if you were, let's say, one of the rugby league clubs from the teams that played, let's say, on Thursday or Friday, you sent them home pretty promptly, right?
From the ground to the airport.
Let's nip this one in the bud.
Yeah.
Let's not let the boys play too much.
Yeah.
Play the game.
Play the game.
Off you go.
Go home.
Go home.
Straight on a bus. Straight to the
airport. Go home and
take
those 2 security guards with you.
Yes.
What was the thinking behind having all the games up there in Brisbane like that?
More people going to the games.
Yeah. They got about 130,000, I think, over the course of the 4 days.
So there's a lot more, and the clubs. Particularly the clubs whose home games it was.
Probably, yeah.
They made a lot more money than usual.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I think from the NRL's point of view, I think they probably thought it was a success.
I heard about a chap who went to all the games, all 8 games, bought a ticket. I think
fell asleep.
$120 odd dollars. Obviously, loves his footy. Said it was great, and he said, overall, the behaviour of everyone attending the games, given that he was at all of them, and the competition between the different supporters and whatnot, was fantastic.
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah, it was just some nice, good-natured ribbing. So
we were talking before about why are they calling it the Magic Round?
It's magic.
No, it's up there in.
It's magic happening.
It's in Queensland. I thought a more apt name would have been.
Banana round?
A banana round.
Cane toad round.
Cane toad round. Yeah, I won't say what I said before.
No. But
we love you, Queenslanders.
It was good.
Not really.
There was some good football play. If we just
there was some interesting scores. Charlie, what team do you go for again? Parramatta, isn't it? Yeah, Parramatta.
By proxy. I mean, looking at my tips for the round, I got 7 out of 8.
What's the matter, Parramatta?
Well, what's the matter, Parramatta? I got 7 out of 8 of my tips right. The only team that let me down was your mob.
No.
He's not a St.
No,
George supporter.
I do not support them.
He's a West Tigers.
I do not support St. George.
I know. God. That's 2 weeks in a row that I've made that joke.
Never, ever going to support those blokes. You're kidding.
Your blokes did well.
My blokes were on fire for 17 minutes and then just didn't need to do anything after that.
No, game over. Which brings up the next point of the Panthers. Where do we go from there? Well, I don't know why I'm saying where, as if I'm a Penrith supporter.
Look, the only way is up because they can't go much lower.
Mark Guy was pretty damning in his assessment of the club, and they need a complete clear out and this, that, and the other.
Well, I don't know where this is coming from because last year, they were a great club. They were getting Ivan Cleary because he was going to take them to the next level. All of a sudden, Ivan comes in and they've sunk to the bottom.
Well, he's taken them to a new level.
Yeah, it's a different level.
But dude, can we put the blame on the coach solely here? I think.
I mean, it's a combination. It's got to be obviously with the players. The coach doesn't run out and play the game, so it's generally the players. So you would think. So what? Yeah, what is the issue there at Penrith? Why have they gone from being a club that should be competing for the top 4 to a club that's in the bottom 4?
Yes, Gus Gould.
I don't think. I mean, everybody blames Gus Gould, but I don't.
You've got to blame someone.
It's not him. I don't think it's him.
Yeah,
it can't be him.
Yeah.
Why would it be him? Why would Gus be that disruptive to the club and ruin the club? Like that just seems.
No, I don't think it is Gus. I just wanted to say his name.
Yeah, they like to put it on him because he's an easy scapegoat.
Yeah.
But there's obviously something gone wrong.
Yeah. Well, obviously the big talking point out of the Panthers is whether the incumbent halves combination will earn their state of origin spots back.
Yeah.
How are you seeing that one?
Looking less and less likely now.
Yes.
Cleary might get lucky. He might stay. But
I'd stick with Cleary because he's young and.
But I think Maloney might be in a bit of trouble.
Yeah. So therefore, who gets that spot?
Well, you've got Luke Keary.
There's Luke Keary and Cody Walker, who's in the mix of, I guess they're the informed players.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Keary's probably I'd say it's the next cab off the rank.
Yep.
So it's probably, I'd say it'd be him, which would be interesting. There's a few spots up for grabs for New South Wales.
Yeah.
Because obviously James Roberts is not playing at the moment, so you wouldn't have thought, unless Freddie's going to pick him from reserve grade.
Yep.
For him to keep his spot, so we might need another centre.
Charlie, can I ask you the question? When you were living in England,
yes,
obviously soccer, football was your main sport to follow aside from cricket season.
Yep.
How big is rugby league there? Is rugby union still the bigger rugby code there?
That depends on your location. So I'm from the southwest of England, from the county of Devon, and we got a big rugby team there called Exeter Chiefs, who play rugby union.
Yep.
I think they won the Aviva Premiership either a year or two ago, and they're going pretty strongly this year and in the European competitions too. Rugby league tends to be more in north of England.
Up north, yeah.
So
where they're a bit tougher.
Yeah, well, no. Where they're a lot more miserable.
Yeah, okay.
And I can say that because I got family in the north as well. So my dad's from the north of the country, my mum's from the south. So I can insult everyone and have it with...
They should have got married in Middlesex.
They got married in Hampshire because they wanted to make everyone travel.
North,
south,
I know,
middle.
Yeah. Anyway,
I heard the joke. I just ignored it.
You do that every show. Hear a joke and ignore it. Then move on.
Well, he only laughs at the funny ones.
Stuart's not a fan of humour.
Exactly. No.
Rugby,
just dad jokes.
I got a good one for you. Rugby league tends to be a north of the country thing, so that tends to be people like your Warrington, which is around the Manchester area, Wigan, same area, St Helens, same area, and then Leeds Rhinos.
So you're from an area where rugby league isn't that strong. So state of origin, was that something that you had heard of when you were in England?
Being honest, no. I hadn't heard of it until I first came to Australia when I was 20. So that was 2006. So honestly, up until I moved here permanently, I thought it was a rugby union thing. That's how much attention I paid to it.
Yeah.
But I've quite liked it since I moved over here. I've got into it. I went to, I think it was the Dead Rubber in 2015 or 16. I can't remember which. That New South Wales won at ANZ. Queensland won the whole series, but New South Wales won that game, and it was a good atmosphere because it was last minute as well. obviously Queensland have had the upper hand over the last decade or so.
Yep.
New South Wales are starting to redress that balance. How do you think it's going to go this year? Do you think it's nailed on New South Wales or
I don't think
Queensland?
so.
No, I think it's a bit closer.
I think it's a bit
closer now with the issues in the halves. I think
and a few injuries.
So I think it's. When there's injuries to Queensland as well.
Yep.
But how big?
I think Cameron Smith will play.
Oh,
they won't announce it. It won't be a big thing, but I reckon he'll just get named in the side.
Yeah, but you've broken it for the first time.
C. Smith, number 9, captain.
Kingsgrove Sports podcast exclusive.
Just got a feeling.
I was about to ask you
because who are they going to pick? I mean, they are battling for.
I was about to ask you how big a hole is it with Cameron Smith, Billy Slater?
Huge. It's
those sort of guys.
It's a massive hole.
It was so much a hole that they lost.
Yeah. You take out 4 of the best players that have ever played the game of rugby league, and certainly 4 of the best players that have played in the last 15 years. And you're going to struggle.
And now Inglis gone as well.
And now Inglis gone. Yeah, you struggle to replace them straight away. So
now, where are the games this year for State of Origin? Is it 2 in Sydney?
No,
or 1 in Sydney.
No, I think are we going to Adelaide or something? Adelaide or Perth? I don't know. We got 1 in Sydney, 1 in Brisbane, and one in, let's call it a neutral venue.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
We're somewhere else. So, back to the ladder.
Yes.
Is anybody catching, or is anybody competing against the Roosters, the Rabbitohs, and the Storm?
I think we know that they're the 3 that are going to be there at the end part of the season. Who's the 4th and 5th team who will really be?
But can they? But yeah,
taking them on.
Is there a side that can beat them?
Yeah.
So just to finish off on that State of Origin thing, Game 1 is at Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane, Game 2 is at Perth Stadium in Perth, and Game 3 is at ANZ here in Sydney. So the NRL ladder.
Yep. I think Cronulla, given that they keep on winning with millions of dollars on the bench and
they keep losing blokes.
Well publicised, a couple of guys to come back finally for them this particular round. I think Matty Moylan's back. So the fact that they're still winning and there's time on their side for players to come back from injury, you'd only assume that they can rebuild, and there's obviously a feeling and an atmosphere within the squad there that they can win in any situation. I like that about a team who has a sort of form of self-belief, which is built up by the fact that they've won a few games. New coach is obviously doing a few things right there. So
John Morris,
an interesting one. I think I heard it on the Footy Show on Triple M last night. Mark Geyer predicted that the Knights were on their way up. So they're not
winning the comp.
No, but are they moving towards that sort of 5th or 6th position?
No.
You don't think so?
Not at this stage. I think they're able, if they can get into the bottom half. I think if they can get in the bottom half of the 8, they're coming 9th at the moment.
Yeah.
And they can play some good football. So I think if they can, I would say somewhere from 6th, 7th, or 8th. I think is where.
Because keep in mind, at the start of the season, everyone predicted fairly big things for them.
Yeah.
And then they sort of flopped for a bit. Are they they've a run of wins?
I thought a bit, like maybe aiming.
They only beat the Bulldogs last.
Maybe like aiming a bit too high. I mean, as long as if Ponga can stay in form, and Pearce stays in form, I think they can certainly play finals football.
Dragons.
They're on the slide at the moment. They're on the slide. They've lost 3 in a row at the moment.
Corey Norman out, and he was slotting in nicely. It's a long season though, isn't it?
It is.
You've got the origin period to take into account, and you've got other things to take into account, like who from which of those clubs that might be there or thereabouts is losing a big gun player for a few rounds.
Yep. Yeah.
You see what happened to North Queensland when they lost Jason Taumalolo.
Yeah.
And that sort of put them on the back foot for quite a number of rounds, but now they're starting to move forward again.
Yeah.
He's a big unit.
I mean, he's a big key. He's their most important player.
And they meet this weekend, Dragons and Knights. So how do you see that one going?
If you look at the Dragons, it's a Dragons home game. The Dragons have to win.
Yeah.
If they want to,
they've been a bit disappointing the last couple of weeks.
You don't want to lose 4 in a row. You've got to, if they want to keep in touch with the top 8, especially they're playing the Knights. then it's 9th and 10th. They've got to win.
That's an interesting one. The thing is that they had the lead at halftime against the Warriors.
Yeah.
But then something clicked for the Warriors, and I wasn't surprised because I
played half of football.
I kind of predicted this one that it would maybe take their new boy Cody Nikorima, only went up there that week, and Blake Green's was coming back from injury.
Been there for
them to sort of click and gel, and it kind of happened in the second half. And they also started playing with that.
That Warriors
Can
football,
dare I say, gay abandon that sometimes the Warriors are capable
Again,
of.
a good situation for the Warriors to be in, down, like 18-0 or something, and just so they just throw it around and put points on. So that's
the Warriors are the kind of team, aren't they?
Yeah.
They can knock over on their day just about any of the better teams if they really turn it on, but they can also lose against
They can just disappear.
So last week we were talking about the kitchen utensil of ineptness.
Yes, the wooden spoon.
Yep. Now,
the question to you, Hamish,
yes,
as a Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs fan.
Yep.
How confident are you of you not getting that utensil of
Who did you
ineptness?
predict?
Yeah. Look. When we spoke about it a fortnight ago, I was pretty confident that we were on the way up because we just won a game.
A game.
You've won 2.
Yeah. No, well, we just had won a game that weekend. Right. And since then, we've lost a couple of games. And if we were ever going to win a game, it should have been against Newcastle last week. We're still tinkering with our team. There were 3 guys who got dropped. There's a few problems there, they reckon, in the dressing room. It's a worry for me.
Yeah, right.
They're a worry,
big clash coming up for you guys this week.
Who do you follow? St. George? That you're talking about?
Bulldogs, mate.
Bulldogs. All right.
Bulldogs.
The ladder proper uppers.
Yeah.
Right. The bottom rung.
Now,
you've got to have a stable base, though. So I don't know why they're there.
Any good house is built on a good, strong foundation.
Now, I keep making this joke that you're a Dragons fan, and you're clearly not, and I don't know why I do that, because you're a Tigers fan. You've got a tough game this weekend away to the Storm.
Yeah, and thanks to Parramatta for running them into form.
That's what we do.
64-10.
Yeah.
That score is unbelievable.
I think that has to be our next topic after this. Let's talk Parramatta for a few minutes, but go on.
I mean, last year we went down to Melbourne and we beat Melbourne.
Yep.
We beat them twice. So, it's not.
You guys started last season like a house on fire.
Yeah. Now, I mean, if we can play that 17 minutes of football for, 80 minutes.
Yep.
This week,
Or
then
even 60 minutes.
there were a chance. I'd like to play for 80 minutes against Melbourne. You've got to play for 80. We're not going to run in that many tries against Melbourne in 17 minutes, but we need to be able to be pressing their line. For the full 80 because they're gonna be coming at us. So if we can do that, we'll be a good show. It's a massive test. Anytime you come over against Melbourne, is tough work. So should be good.
Yeah, they're a good team to watch and. There's just that Benji Marshall factor.
If
he turned it on.
If he has a good game, if he's got the space and he doesn't need to try and push passes and produce a miracle ball to get us. If we're behind, he needs to try and do something.
I think Benji's
amazing.
at his best when he's sort of going at about 85%.
Yeah.
When he's at 100, he's trying to do too much.
Yeah.
When he's just sort of and he's got that maturity about him now, and probably the fact that the experience and probably slowed down in his mind. Probably,
Farah can keep playing well. Brooks, our forwards keep doing the job going forward, and most of them by solid at the back.
Would you like to see, given that they're playing fairly well and they're helping to win games?
Yeah.
Would you like to see Farah and Marshall continue on for one more year?
Oh, it depends. I mean, that's up to them. It depends on their. It depends on how good
they are. As a fan.
Oh, I mean, I love the fact that they're back. I love that I didn't want them to leave in the first place.
Yeah, because
came back.
There's a cultural aspect to it, isn't there? Club culture.
Yes.
That,
so
both those players have always been at their best at that club.
Yep.
But I think given the right coach and atmosphere, it's all got to come together at the right time.
I think they're obviously aiming that this is going to be their last season. There is a point where you've sort of got to move on. You have to sort of
You think they'll make the top 8, Stewie?
Bite the bullet. I hope we do. Yeah, we should do. Look, we should do. We should. Again, like that 17 minutes of football shows that we can.
I was about to say, get the splinters out of your butt and give us an answer. I hope they do.
There's a bit of optimism there. So, you've said you beat Storm twice last year.
Yeah.
The tone of your voice was that you reckon you can do it again this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's saying there's a thing.
You're saying there's a thing.
You're telling me there's a chance.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
However, that thing just got less of a thing because of Parramatta.
Right.
Who have been the most up and down. We'll call them the Parramatta yo-yos.
Yeah.
They'd be happy with that.
I'm not sure.
Wonderful.
I'm not sure when.
Stadium.
I'm not sure when it's a good time to get Melbourne. But after a rev up from the coach.
Yep, bellyache.
Craig Bellamy.
And
probably not the best.
And Cameron Smith. I think he's
probably not the best time when he's sort of saying you blokes aren't good enough to play for Melbourne.
Yeah.
You don't want to play them.
They just they've been going along fairly well in third gear.
Yeah.
It's found sixth gear.
Yeah.
Is there such thing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's 8 gears in a Formula 1 car.
They went all the way through. Yeah.
Why did I?
They went through. What did you?
You really set yourself up for that one, man. You got nobody yourself to blame.
They went through all the gears. I mean, the last try from Josh Addo-Carr where he just got into space and he's just.
And when Sevo got sin bin, they went into 9th gear.
Yeah, 4 tries.
That's reverse in Formula 1.
Oh, okay.
No, they didn't go in reverse. They just use that extra player to their massive advantage.
What is Parramatta's problem at the moment? Is it the contract stuff?
I think there's a bit of that. So coach is off contract. Obviously, Gutherson's off contract. Gutherson's now got a deadline of signing by the end of the week.
I'm glad you said that because I can't say that.
That's why I said it. So he's got to sign his deal by the end of the week, or they're looking for a new fullback.
Yes. They've given him an ultimatum.
An ultimatum. Yeah. So. I think he probably should sign because I don't know. I'm not sure where else he would go. No one else is really looking for a fullback.
After last week, he might sign with Guildford.
Well, I don't think they're going to drop him, but I think they need to sort out some contract stuff so that it's just obviously that's out of the way and guys are more settled.
And surely the coach would want that.
He needs a signature. He needs to get signed. They haven't signed him either.
Yeah.
So that comes down to a board level. The board's got to sort out what they want to do with the coach. And you either sign him, or you flick him.
And bad news for the Eels, they're away this week.
Yes, no good there. So
not looking good.
Tip against the Eels.
As long as they don't come back with a box full of actual cane toads, I'm sure there'll be another day.
They're already dead here anyway.
Yeah.
So it looks like Parramatta just can't wait to play at home in the new stadium, and they just need to win all those games and see where that puts them, and then hopefully play a home final.
If they win this week, it'll be an unbelievable.
It'll be massive turnaround.
Just over a month-long period.
I remember that has been Parramatta for a while, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, not really, because generally
losing.
The
thing is
last year they did come last.
If they do lose to is the Titans this week they've got, isn't it?
No, North Queensland.
Cowboys. Sorry, beg your pardon. So it's the Cowboys. If they do lose to them, at least they've got the comfort in knowing they'll play Penrith the week after.
Ooh, big game of the West.
Yeah. Penrith will lift for that.
I'm sure they will.
At home, though.
At Bankwest Stadium.
Lock Parramatta in.
Yeah.
They're done.
I think I already have. Anyway, so anything else we want to touch on with the NRL?
No, I think we've covered it quite well there.
Succinctly. Is your wooden spoon moving on at all or not?
The wooden spoon at the moment is still with the Titans.
Yeah, I'm still favouring. I think they shouldn't get it because they've actually got decent players and they can play some good football. But
I'm looking forward to seeing the Bulldogs play the Titans in the reverse grand final.
Dogs Titans battle of the spoon.
Should
we talk? Should we talk?
Yeah,
I don't really want to, but let's have to talk. EPL and Champions League.
Yeah, let's move on to real football.
I'll talk Champions League.
I'm not a huge, as you guys know, I'm not a huge football fan.
You're a soccer super coach. Though.
You might not be a huge football fan, but you didn't tip Iceland for the World Cup, so there's always that.
Yes,
that's true.
But I found the EPL quite interesting towards the back end of the year.
Well, it has been.
Of course, someone wasn't disappointing with the title.
Yeah. It's you got the run of form between Manchester City and Liverpool, which has just been almost flawless.
Yeah.
And then the race to lose fourth place between Spurs, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Manchester United is what's made it interesting, I guess. Really, I mean, if you'd have said to me 2 months ago that Spurs would finish fourth, 1 point ahead of Arsenal, I would have been devastated.
Yeah.
But at the same time, pleased because we were ahead of Arsenal.
You did a really good job of trying to lose that.
Yeah, I think we got the stat was that we got 10 points from a possible 36.
Not bad.
in the last 12 games, which is terrible. But if you temper that with the fact that we made it to the Champions League final, it's not been a bad year for my boys. I can't talk this morning. I haven't had my cup of tea. That's what it is. So Manchester City, unfortunately for you... Oh, yeah, I do. Manchester City, unfortunately for you, did go away with the Premier League title.
Yep.
To lose one game all season and not be champions is gutting for Liverpool, and it's been... when was the last one, 1990 or 89?
It's been some time.
It's 89, I think it was.
I'd be walking away with the moral victory there.
And they get you absolutely nothing. They don't give a trophy or any prize money for the moral victory. It gives you might as well come last.
Yeah. I don't mind Liverpool at all. My dad supports Liverpool. I've always sort of followed them a little bit, but it did make me laugh when over in the UK they've got these BBC Radio 5 Live who covers the football, and they have these phone-in shows, 606, and one guy phoned in and said that even if Liverpool finish second, they deserve a trophy. And the guy laughed at him. He's like, for what? For finishing second?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, they give them out of the Olympics.
Well, you have a silver medal then.
They give them out in motor racing. You get a trophy for coming second.
You do, and we'll get onto that in a minute.
Mate, if you play under sixes for the local soccer team,
everyone
get a trophy for coming last these days.
Everyone gets one.
This is getting more and more ridiculous by the second, isn't it?
Sorry.
But yeah, congratulations to Manchester City and Pep Guardiola for leading them to their second straight Premier League title. They got over 100 points last year. They got 98 points this year, which is phenomenal. It really is. Liverpool on 97. It's a great year, but geez, how you feeling, mate?
Disappointed because we didn't win. Yeah, like you said, you lose one game. Unfortunately, we drew 7.
Yeah,
which didn't help. But I mean, it's not often you have the two leading scorers, the best goalkeeper, so the Golden Glove winner, and the player of the the season, in Van Dijk, and not win.
But look at that run home for both teams. No one wanted to give an inch. It was a fight all the way to the end.
That stretches back 10 games as well.
Really?
I think City actually won 14 in a row to come first, and we won 9.
Isn't it a shame that they didn't play each other in the last day?
On the last day. Yeah. Well, it would be nice to have that sort of title.
I reckon just get rid of Tottenham and let Man City play Liverpool in the Champions League.
No.
Oh, I'm not joking, mate.
No.
Why would you do such a thing?
No.
Because this deserves a grand final.
No, look, City gets another chance to get another trophy when they play the FA Cup final
against
Watford.
Now, did you like my my little statistical content that I came up with? This makes Man City the most successful EPL team in the last decade with their fourth title win.
Yes, it does.
Over Manchester. No, Chelsea.
Chelsea had 3. Manchester United had 2. Leicester City, amazingly, had 1.
Yes, I still can't believe that.
No, I can't either.
Nobody can.
And Arsenal had none.
Yep.
And neither did Tottenham, just before anyone else throws that in there. I don't really know where to start with the Premier League. It's been a up and down season for my boys. We only drew 2 games all year, and one of them was the last game of the season, and the other was against Arsenal, who missed a last-minute penalty. But losing 13 games, which is more than we'd lost in the 2 seasons previous combined, is not really good enough. Having said that, we finished 4th. I need to correct something I said in the last episode, which was if we finished 4th, Arsenal finished outside the top 4 and won the Europa League, then they'd get our Champions League spot. That's not true. Tottenham are in the Champions League regardless.
Oh, right.
Even if Arsenal now win the Europa League. Now, on to European football. The 2 big European finals, so the Champions League final and the Europa League final, 4 English clubs. Arsenal v Chelsea in the Europa League, Tottenham v Liverpool in the Champions League. Now, does that really suggest a strength in English football?
I think to some degree, yes.
Strength and wealth.
Now, the English domestic league maybe, but in English football, if we look at the stats, of those 4 teams, Tottenham have 5 players that can play for England.
Yep.
Or played for England. Manchester City, I think, had 4. No, that's not right. Liverpool had 4. Yep. Manchester City had 3. Chelsea had 1 or 2. Arsenal had none.
Yeah. Yeah. So
you're enjoying that, aren't you?
Doesn't actually say, it doesn't say that. Yeah. English football is strong.
Yeah.
The league might be.
The league is very strong.
Might be strong.
Well, I guess they performed very well in the last World Cup.
Well, yeah, we got to the semi-finals, then bottled it. But one thing that did happen since the last show as well, those two stunning semi-finals in the Champions League. I think we'll start with Liverpool. A bit of context, they lost
having one ridiculous semi-final.
Yeah, there were two. This is ridiculous. So having lost the first leg of the semi-final against Barcelona, widely regarded as the best club football team in the world.
Can you get Stuart to pronounce Barcelona?
Barcelona.
That's actually correct.
I love this.
Yeah. And that's also where the Formula One was this weekend. Anyway, back to football.
Formula One. He always finds a way, doesn't he, Nick? Formula One.
Anyway, we're on fire. So, having lost the first leg 3-0, Liverpool managed a stunning comeback to beat Barcelona at Anfield 4-0.
Yeah.
The last goal of which was really cheeky, and I loved it. Did you see it?
Yes, I did see it.
Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Cheeky or unsportsmanlike?
No,
not at all.
No. There's no time out, and you let the defence get set. You've got to be ready, and they weren't ready.
Yeah, the ball was down. Actually, props goes to the ball boy for that one for getting the ball back to him.
He was a part of the practice session that led up to it.
Yeah.
If we get our chance, this is what we're doing. Ball boy starts with you.
Get it.
Get your job right, and the rest will just fall into place.
Yeah.
Bang.
I like little ironies in there as well, and that Luis Suarez had said, "I will not celebrate in front of the Liverpool fans at Anfield." Well,
and he didn't.
You know the bit of that thing from the corner is I don't even think the guy who was coming over. Remember we looked at the footage, Stuart. I don't even think the guy who was coming over for the corner was expecting it, because when the guy kicked it, he had this look of shock on his face.
Yeah, what are you doing?
So I don't think he was even a part of the plan.
No, or the
coach left him out of that one.
Or it's just well acted.
Yeah.
Then obviously, yeah. So
they can act.
Yeah, they can act. Tottenham getting the job done right at the very end.
I will get Nick to put up a photo of what it's like to watch Tottenham. There's a heartbeat monitor. It says a normal person. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
Dead person.
There's another 20 minutes gone from your day,
watching Tottenham.
Tottenham everywhere.
I mean, your description was so accurate. I think I'll just let the imaginations of the listeners.
No.
So the final in Madrid.
Yeah, I mean, on the 1st
of June,
the semi-finals first. So Tottenham lost the first leg against Ajax.
Why Madrid?
They always played in a neutral venue.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we lost the first leg against Ajax at the brand new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, 1-0. Ajax have got rid of Juventus in this competition. They've got rid of Real Madrid. I think they beat Bayern Munich as well. They're a very strong, up-and-coming young team. It's a shame that some of them are disappearing and going off to Barcelona and other places as well. Very strong. And then the first half of the second game at the Ajax Amsterdam Stadium, they go 2-0 up. So with 45 minutes of the game of the tie left to play, Spurs are 3-0 down.
Yeah.
Down and out. He makes one change, get rid of Wanyama, bring on Fernando Llorente. He's tall, just hoof it up to him and hope he can just nod it on and flick it on. And then Lucas Moura, who's about as tall as this table.
Bang.
Amazing. Low centre of gravity.
3.
And he goes bang, bang. The second goal, which I don't think we're allowed to show because it's a licensed clip, but the footwork to actually get that ball away. First of all, it was an astonishing miss from Llorente.
Yep.
And then the keeper's
dived
onto it. Then the ball's loose. And then Lucas Moura, with some of the best Brazilian footwork I've ever seen, has just managed to get it away from the defenders, through another guy's leg and into the corner. 2-2. 3-2 on aggregate. Ajax is still leading 3-2.
Yep.
And that's after 10 minutes of the second half. So there's still good half an hour or so or more to go. Spurs are trying, they can't get there. 5 minutes of added on time. We get a corner after 3.5. Llorente heads it over the bar. We think that's it. It's done. The keeper takes so long messing around to get the ball down. Gets booked for time wasting. Referee goes, well, I'm going to add a few seconds on here. The 5 minutes are up. Spurs hoof the ball forwards. It's nodded down by Llorente. It's flicked on by Dele Alli. Lucas Moura, he's there. Stuffs it in the corner 5 minutes and 2 seconds into added on time. Delirium. And that was just in my kitchen. I woke up half a Parramatta. I was doing laps and whooping and hollering and making a tool of myself. I wish I videoed it. Spurs Champions League final.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I didn't know if I was playing a game of FIFA or if it was real. I think I headbutted the table just to make sure it wasn't a dream. I didn't really. That's a joke.
Wouldn't do it.
Unbelievable. I cannot believe that Tottenham Hotspur are in the Champions League final.
Now, being the ignoramus that I am when it comes to soccer, sometimes, so the final, just one game.
Yep.
Not 2 games like the other ones.
Nope.
Any reason for that? It seems to be
because it's the final.
It's the final.
You can't. I don't think you can have 2 parts of the final. They used to do that in some. I think the UEFA Cup they used to do that, didn't they? First leg and second leg.
Yep.
Just one game.
But yeah, if it's the final, it's the showpiece game.
It's a bigger and better.
So it's Stuart versus Charlie, basically, when it comes down to Kingsgrove Sports Centre.
So one of us will be crying on the 2nd of June.
How are you feeling now? Obviously, Liverpool go in as the favourites.
Yeah, absolutely.
Given the standings on the EPL, what do you think your chances are?
If I'm being brutally honest, I don't expect anything other than a Liverpool win. Because of their experience in Europe, they got to the final of the competition last year and came up against a Real Madrid team who were just on fire.
Yeah.
They've obviously had a stellar Premier League season, and they are just very, very strong as a unit overall. I hold out a little bit of hope. Spurs have got a history and a tradition of cup competitions.
Yep.
Granted, we haven't won one since 2008, and then before that it was 99, and before that it was 91. So recent history, we've not been great. But Spurs historically have been the glory nights at White Hart Lane and European football and just having those amazing results that don't seem possible. And I hold out the tiniest bit of hope that we can do it, although I am expecting a Liverpool win.
And my pessimistic little friend over there, what magic have you got for Liverpool?
Oh, I think we should.
Very confident?
I think we should. We should win. I mean, like everything that Charlie said. So our form this season, the way Klopp's got them playing, if we produce that football, then we should win.
What's the confidence rating in percentages?
I was going to give you a score 2-0.
2-0.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
You want to score?
Sounds like 100%.
I don't want to give a score prediction because there's just so many things I'm thinking about.
70%. I mean, mate, it's a 2-horse race, so you never know what's going to go. You never know what's going to happen.
This new generation of Tottenham players have just got something different about them. They've got the desire, they've got the mentality that they want to go on and win and push on and just give you that extra 10%. I think if Harry Kane is fit and firing, it'll be very close.
Yeah.
But I don't think that Stu's far away when he says 2-0.
I'd be happy with 1-0.
I'm going 5-0 to Liverpool. 1 goal for every Beatle plus Pete Best.
Plus Pete Best.
The drummer that Ringo replaced.
Yeah, does Pete Best deserve a goal? Does he deserve a goal?
Yeah, I think so.
You think he does?
I'd nod one to what's his face.
If it wasn't for him not being such a great drummer.
No, didn't he just say no? I don't want to be in this band. And
Ringo
left?
I don't know. I think they.
No, I think he got kicked for the better Beatle.
He got the rug pulled out from under him and said, "Come on, Ringo."
A side note: I remember when George Harrison sadly passed away. I had my Walkman or radio on or something, and the news reporter said Ringo Starr said that on hearing upon George Harrison's death, his heart missed a beat, and he just went a bit like his drumming, really. And then left it at that.
Well, I mean, there is that. I mean, there's the story that Ringo Starr wasn't even the best drummer in the Beatles.
Yeah. They said to Paul McCartney, "Is Ringo Starr the best drummer in the world?" And he said, "Best drummer in the world. He's not even the best drummer in the Beatles." But he did have a way about him, didn't he? You know your music, Nick. Yeah. Just that little offbeat type of method of drumming.
There's you can find some good YouTube videos on how good a drummer Ringo Starr was.
Exactly.
And it has little to do with technique and a lot to do with taste.
Yeah.
He knew what to play when.
Should we talk cricket?
Well, before we do, I've got a little bit of news.
What's that?
Just because you don't like dad jokes, but this is breaking news. A man who took an airline company to court after his luggage went missing has lost his case. Anyway, moving on to cricket.
Man. I'd rather you and Bryden's dad joke tat-a-tat not make its way into the podcast, please.
Can you edit that out?
I might have to edit that out. That hurt.
I've worked out why they're terrible at dad jokes.
Not fathers?
Neither one of them are dads.
You can have a child, mate. Have a child first and then
work. Anyway,
that's
should we talk cricket and cricket World Cup?
Yeah. How are we looking there? Obviously, Australia have had some warm-up games against New Zealand, they only had 5 of their squad. Yeah, obviously, other players here and there. And everywhere. The IPL is done and dusted. So Australia looked pretty good, and Smith and Warner seemed to slot back in well, and it's good to see Smith in amongst the runs.
Smith seemed to be in better form than Warner, even though Warner is
Warner had a pretty good IPL campaign.
Yeah.
And England playing Pakistan at the moment. Yeah. They look like they're putting some runs on the board because their form was a little bit iffy.
Had a good one the other day. Josh Butler scored some runs.
Yeah, 50 ball 100.
I think Roy got some runs. So Morgan has been getting some runs. So so sort of moving well. The West Indies are over playing some cricket, sort of against Ireland and Bangladesh.
Yeah. And Charlie, who scored the century for Pakistan?
Farker.
Right. Okay.
That's his name.
Have you got a little...
That's his name.
138.
Yep. Look it up. That's his name.
That's his... Yeah.
Yes. Can play.
138 of the best. Court Butler, bowled Wokes, 138.
Yep.
I still think that Pakistan are going to be there or thereabouts in this World Cup.
They've won a tournament in England not that long ago in the Champions Trophy, so they can perform there.
They'll have
good support there as well.
Likely to score 390 in one game and be all out for 36 in the next.
Yeah. They've always got that in them, but
that's England.
Who are you leaning towards now that we're getting a little bit closer to the time
in terms of support?
No, in terms of who's going to win it.
Well, I still think Pakistan are going to be up there or thereabouts. I really hope England can do it. I think that the Australians are far too quiet. It's not good. They're far too quiet. It's going to be. I think they'll be up there as well. There's something about them. They're going about things quietly, and then they're going to surprise you and explode at the World Cup.
Do you think the fact that
they're up to something?
Every Indian player has just had this period of IPL. And they all performed pretty well. The lineup that they have, particularly batting-wise, is that something that you can look into? Is the Indian IPL form something that they can take into the one-day format?
They should be able to. So they should be able to bring it in.
Yep.
So that puts them right at the top as a favourite. They've got a good team. They've got a good batting lineup. They've got good bowlers. They've got one-day bowlers. So, they should be. They're definitely looking to win the tournament.
Yep.
What do we reckon about West Indies?
They could be a smoky. They could go okay, yeah. I think
they're like a lazy 20.
Yeah.
Chuck a lazy 20 on and just see where it takes you.
You never know what happens with them if they can get in a roll and the feeling's good, then they can produce some good cricket. So, if Chris Gale goes off a couple of games, that could help them.
Yep.
Instead of big total, and they might get the job done.
Mind you, Ireland did score 300 odd runs against them the other day.
Yeah, and the West Indies chased it down.
Yes,
and again,
again,
also there's a few guys in that in that West Indies team that it's not their full squad, it's not their World Cup squad that are playing in those games. So, they've got a lot of their batsmen are scoring runs. They're scoring hundreds. They're scoring their first 100. So,
but if you're winning a World Cup, it's not just because your batting's going to go well.
No, you got to bowl.
Obviously, you've got to.
What's your bowling? You've got to
tick both boxes.
You've got to take the wickets. The bowling will win this World Cup.
Yeah. There you go.
Small grounds, flat decks, you've got to bowl well.
Domestic news, we've just picked our New South Wales squad. It was announced yesterday, and a few days earlier, the New South Wales Breakers women's squad, which I guess was a little bit surprising in that it's a very young squad.
Yep.
There's some movements.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
How you seeing, because you're obviously very closely linked with your sister being in the Breaker squad. She was apparently thinking about hanging them up.
Yeah, but signed another contract.
So she's back in.
Back in, yeah, or still in. So
do you find with Sarah, is she still really enjoying being a part of that competitive process of playing now that she's been around? She's been in and around the New South Wales system now from probably under 18s level.
Yeah, always likes playing
for good 15.
Always likes the competition.
Yep.
So you wouldn't do it unless you were committed to it.
Yep.
It's because there's I mean, especially like she puts in a lot of effort. It's a 110% commitment with her. So
with a few key players on the move, namely Nicola Carey on the way to Tasmania.
Yep. Well, Nicola Carey and obviously Elise Perry's gone to Victoria.
Yes. Now they're two very big.
I think. Well,
gaps.
Elise Perry is ginormous.
Yes.
Nick's.
Yep.
But Elise Perry's the massive one. If you look at what she's done over the past few years, it's huge.
Now, I initially thought, New South Wales, the Breakers are going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
When I read the squad, though, like it's a big squad and there's a lot of new young girls who are in the squad.
Yes.
They won't necessarily be in the team.
May not necessarily play depending on the scheduling and stuff.
When you trim the corners and you put that team, that first team together, they're still pretty strong on paper.
They're still pretty strong on paper, and it's going to mean that a few of those girls that were more say supportive roles are going to have to step up and produce some bigger numbers.
Yeah.
But as a professional sports person, that's what you want. You want to be the one that's scoring the runs and taking the wickets, don't you? I mean, you don't want to just be a bit player. You want to do the job. So, and you want to be pushing to play higher honours.
Any surprises for you in the men's squad?
No.
At least the selectors didn't drop Josh Hazelwood from this one.
Yeah. No.
Nice to see. Nice to see him.
That's what.
Remembered.
There's no.
I'm still in a bit of shock. As you can tell, I'm still in a bit of shock about Josh Hazelwood being.
Yeah, I think they just.
Just
want him. They obviously just want him to be perfect for the Ashes series. So.
Yeah. He will be key, I think, in England, won't he?
He will be. He'll be a big key.
And the rookie contracts there. We've got, I'll just list the names out. Ryan Hackney, Ryan Hadley, Baxter Holt, Oliver Davis, Matt Gilks, and Chad Samet.
There might be a few other blokes.
There's a young fella I've been watching for quite a number of years since he was in one of the junior representative teams at a state challenge out in Dubbo a good number of years ago, Oliver Davies. He caught my eye then, and since then he's just gone
on and
on to the point where he scored a century against my club St George at Hurstville Oval a year ago, and it was just truly unbelievable. So I think he's one to keep an eye on. He's got that sort of he attacks, but just seems to have a really good cricketing head on his shoulders. So that's my call. Watch for that name in a few years.
Baxter Holt's a good keeper batsman, so another one for the future.
Yep.
We've got some listener questions.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So
good.
we wrapped on the Cricket World Cup. No changes to our predictions from previously.
No.
Very good.
So
I can't make any changes because I can't remember who I predicted.
So there you go. Maybe we'll judge. All right. So listener Caleb has asked us a series of questions, which I think are quite good actually. So the first one is related to Mark Cosgrove. Remember Mark Cosgrove?
Mm-hmm.
Used to play for South Australia. Did play some one-day cricket for Australia early on. Now, if you don't know Mark Cosgrove, let's describe him as he's not your typical looking athlete.
I got in trouble with him the first time I came over here.
He's slightly larger body shape.
Net sessions to the fitness paddock, right?
Yeah. So, but he's played a lot of county cricket in England and done quite well. So
can play.
So obviously he's playing county cricket in England, and he's come back over for South Australia. And South Australia suspended him for being 2.5 kilos overweight. So, Caleb's question is: do you think Australia is not as inclusive as other countries when it comes to cricket? In terms of...
Well, that's a broader question. If he's talking about just with regards to weight, then we can take that and compare it with someone like Inzamam ul Haq. Then maybe. But in terms of being as inclusive as other countries when it comes to cricket...
In terms of the players that they're looking for, and if you're not the super fit athletic, but you're talented cricketer, will you get picked? I would say the answer to that question is that we've only got 6 first-class teams.
Yeah.
England's got 20 plus,
yeah,
whatever it is. So we can obviously be a little bit more selective. And I mean, Mark played a lot of first class cricket. It wasn't like that he didn't. He played plenty of first class cricket. He had plenty of opportunities, and he scored runs. Like I said early on, he played one day cricket for Australia.
Yeah.
So
I had an incident with him the first time I came over.
Whether or not, look, there was always an issue with his weight.
Yes.
Which, look, I think is probably right. You need to be at a certain fitness level to be able to play. And I think it was more for Mark's benefit, to make sure that he could perform at a certain level and keep his contract. And
yeah. Look, I think if I was a part of the South Australian setup from my own coaching point of view, is I would just look at things statistically.
Yes.
Obviously, they've set benchmarks.
Yeah.
And if you want to be a part of the squad at a higher level of cricket, then sometimes you've got to toe the line.
Yeah, you've got to toe it. Yeah.
But I would also be in a situation where, okay, he's a big boned boy.
Yep.
Some people are just like that.
Well, wasn't it? We talked on the podcast about that one guy for, I forget what team it was, but he made the diving catch, the big guy.
Yeah. Dwayne Leverock.
That guy. How does that guy's body shape compare to the Mark Cosgrove guy?
No, Mark was a bit fitter, but I mean, Bermuda don't have that many cricketers, so they have to take whoever they can get.
Right.
We are running a little bit at time, so
yeah, we are.
This question.
I would say, to go back to that question, is if he's going to be scoring more runs than
somebody else,
4 or 5 other players, or 3 or 4 other players in the team,
you pick him.
Pick him.
Yeah. So another question that Caleb's asked is the cost for cricket gear and all sports gear, and also fees for sports club is very expensive.
Yeah.
What do we think of this?
Well, I've noticed that just playing cricket in both England and Australia, that the membership fees for clubs in Sydney. I mean, my old club, Macquarie University, is one of the cheaper clubs to play for, and it's around about the $500 a year mark.
But
my old club in England was £80, which is about $160, maybe less now with the exchange rate, probably about 140. Now, the only difference that I can really see is that in England there's a bar and there's facilities and people are spending money buying food and drinks and things like that, and it's a bit more of a social occasion, so they can make up their money that way.
Yeah.
In Australia, that doesn't tend to be the culture.
No.
You go to cricket, there's maybe 2 people watching if you're lucky, and that's usually a
yeah.
parent of someone who's playing or something like that.
Cricket, you might go back to a sponsor's facility for
absolutely, and then the bar is usually at a pub down the road.
Plus, I mean, there's lots. I mean, from a cricket point of view, and for say like a soccer point of view, there's lots of expenses in that, like the grand hire. Paying the councils is very expensive for that upkeep. In terms of like, for us here at Kingsgrove Sports, in terms of cricket gear, it can be expensive.
Yeah,
but
there's ways around it.
I mean, we've got cricket gear that ranges from all different price points. If you want to go to the top dollar, yes, obviously there is that there. But then we've also got some really good entry level products. The companies and us ourselves are always working on getting that level better, so that you get more bang for buck.
People always said to me when I went out to bat, Hamish, your gear looks cheap. And I said, just because it's good, but you don't necessarily need to be using the best of everything to... Well, I was going to say to score runs. I didn't even do that.
To play cricket.
To play cricket.
I mean, we've got... Yeah, look, you do have cricket bats at $1,500, but you can get a great bat for $150.
Yeah. Exactly.
So we cater for all... And that's, same thing with soccer boots.
But I think what it comes down to when we talk about fees...
Yeah.
Cricket balls. It's simple,
Cricket
balls, probably umpires and ground hire. It's an expensive game to play.
There is lots of things that
but it's also the greatest game to play, so we just deal with it.
Yeah, just budget and hopefully you can play. So
and then from there, it's the game that you play that you fail the most in.
And then don't forget.
So you spend all that money,
then hopefully keep turning up.
And you turn up to the game, and there's probably 65% chance that you'll fail that day and probably the next week. But
keep turning
up. But then there'll be that one week,
just that one game,
that one game,
that one week, that one game you can dine out for the rest of your life on.
And I'm going to.
Yes. And then the team song.
And then the team song. Yeah, nothing better than a team song.
Yeah. That's cricket.
I think
that's cricket.
That's cricket.
That's cricket. That's pretty much the Kingsgrove Sports Centre podcast. I am going to get this in just before we finish. Lewis Hamilton won the Spanish Grand Prix. That's the Formula One update for this week. Mercedes have won 1-2 for every race so far this year. That's got to change. We need Ferrari to up their game, don't we?
F1 was not at all on the schedule of this podcast.
And Nick, I enjoyed the question.
Yes.
Yes. So,
yeah, I would.
There is a couple more questions from Caleb. We just ran out of time, so we'll get back to
we'll come back to
a couple
those
more of those
in the next show. Don't forget the hashtag KSC podcast. As mentioned earlier, Facebook Kingsgrove Sports Centre, Instagram at Kingsgrove Sports, Twitter at Kingsgrove Sport, and all the platforms we mentioned earlier. Thank you very much, Hamish.
You're very welcome.
Thank you very much, Stuart.
Thanks, Charlie.
Producer Nick, as always, thank you.
You're welcome, guys. Thanks for listening.
And we'll see you for episode 18.